back to another episode of Witty Title, the podcast about everything where everyone talks about whatever they want to talk about. I'm this week's hostess with the mostest, Miss Mayflower, and if you couldn't tell by the intro music, we're gearing up for Halloween here at the Witty Title HQ. So let's talk about something too spooky to gear up for October, shall we? This week's podcast is all about spectral science. But Mayflower, you may be asking, what kind of science can you find in ghost stories? Well, a surprising amount, actually. See, ghosts aren't just made up of souls and nightmare fuel. That's just what makes them. At their core, ghosts are actually electromagnetic disturbances. They register a little lower on the spectrum than what our eyes are capable of seeing, but that doesn't mean they aren't there. They occasionally come through as images, whether you've snapped one in a photograph on a ghost hunt, or you're using specialized infrared technology. They can also interfere with nearby radio waves. If you got a recorder, a radio, heck, even your braces or metal fillings or whatever else people say you can catch nearby radio stations, you might be able to hear a little bit about what the ghosts are talking about behind your back. See, professional ghost hunters use these little machines called spirit boxes to exploit this. Basically, it's a little radio, and it does nothing but sweep over white noise stations again and again and again until it catches some nearby ghosts. In case you didn't know, this is also the trick that keeps you from getting torn to pieces by random monsters in the Silent Hill games. Most commonly, though, ghosts tend to hover in the microwave area of the electromagnetic spectrum. You know how microwaves can zap through your food and make it super hot, super fast? Well, ghosts basically work just like that. Except instead of a cheap burrito, they're zapping through you, and instead of cooking you from the inside out, they kind of leave a chill behind in their wake, which is what makes you shiver and gives you all those goosebumps. Alright, so I may have pulled a little Hallows Eve prank on you guys today. Is any of that real science? Of course not. So why did I just spout nonsense at you for a minute if none of that was real? Well, first off, I'm being graded on this, so... Well, guys, the real point is that I'm not a scientist. I'm a creative writing student. I just taught you guys one of the most important lessons a creative writer can ever learn. How to make stuff sound really good. I could have sat here and told you guys a story about how Corinthian plasma inducers can manipulate the nanoelectrical spectrum and teleport strafe shooters to Glorexy PSI mines without disrupting the Quindesi protocols. But that would just sound like sci-fi babble out of a bad episode of Star Trek. One of the greatest assets a writer can have is to study as much of everything as possible. The more you can connect stuff to real science, real history, the more real it seems. And the realer it seems, the easier it is to suck your readers in for the long haul. So, am I ever actually going to use physics in real life? Probably not, but, this week's lesson on waves and light in the electromagnetic spectrum is sure helping me with my ghost comic. Anyway, I put in my work to try to salvage this assignment, so I'll quit chewing your ears off. Thanks for listening, guys. See you next week.
Frightful sights that make you real uncomfortable.